Heya Cryptozens, welcome back to the Crypto Overnighter. My name is Nikodemus and we do crypto news analysis nightly at 10 p.m. And keep in mind, none of this should be considered financial advice. And it's February 13th, 2023, Monday. And how was your Monday? Was it moody or motivational? The SEC announced that it plans to sue the Pax Trust Company for breaking investor protection laws in relation to Binance USD. Now, this is a developing story and there's a couple of components to it. The SEC told Paxos that they plan to take enforcement action through a Wells Notice letter. Now, the Wells Notice letter said that Binance USD is an unregistered security. And after receiving the notice, Paxos has 30 days to respond and to try to prove that they should not be charged. This response is called a Wells submission. The SEC declined to comment on the possibility of an investigation. Binance said BUSD is made by Paxos and that they only use the Paxos name. Now, Paxos is regulated by the New York Department of Financial Services. A Binance spokesperson said that stablecoins are important for protecting investors from market conditions and that limiting access to them could harm many people. They said that they will keep watching the situation and that their users do have access to many stablecoins. Paxos created BUSD, which is a stablecoin that is backed by US dollars. Binance helped in the creation of BUSD in September of 2019. And now, BUSD is the third largest stablecoin and has a value of over $16 billion. Paxos also created the Paxos Dollar stablecoin in 2018. A Fox Business journalist tweeted that the SEC and other regulators are working together to target the crypto industry and more notices are expected. This is another step by the SEC in their efforts to control crypto companies. On February 9th, the SEC settled with the crypto exchange Kraken for $30 million for not registering their staking program as a security. After the settlement, the head of the SEC, Gary Gensler, told crypto companies to follow the law. One of the people in the SEC criticized the SEC for their action against Kraken. On February 10th, an SEC commissioner named Hester Pierce said the way the SEC was regulating was not fair or efficient. She publicly criticized them for ending a program that she said was helping people. And so it was announced this morning that Paxos will stop making new BUSD tokens. Now, this is another part of the story coming up. Because the New York Department of Financial Services told Paxos to stop producing BUSD. They said it was because of issues with Paxos' management of its relationship with Binance. Paxos announced that it would in fact end its relationship with Binance regarding BUSD. Paxos stated that all BUSD tokens it issued are and always will be supported one-to-one with US dollars kept in separate accounts that are protected from bankruptcy. This was announced on Monday. Because after the news on Sunday, around $52 million worth of BUSD was sent to the exchanges. Generally, that's a sign that users want to exchange them for fiat or for some other stablecoins. In the last 24 hours, the value of Binance Coin has dropped by more than 7%, while a whole lot of BUSD was sent to exchanges. Now, last week, reports said that Paxos was being investigated by the Department of Financial Services, but the reason was not known at the time. Now, we'll get back to that. But for their part, Binance is sticking with BUSD. Binance will still back Binance USD, but they may switch to using a different coin for trading. Their CEO, CZ, said users may move to other stablecoins in the future and that Binance will change their products. They are also looking at non-USD stablecoins. Now, because of all this, BUSD's market cap is surely going to go down. That said, a representative from Binance said, quote, Paxos will continue to service the product, manage redemptions, and will follow up with additional information as required. BUSD makes up 37% of the trading volume on Binance. In December, it was over 39%. BUSD became more popular recently because Binance took some controversial steps in encouraging its use on the exchange. They do offer free trading on BUSD pairs. They also automatically converted their users' coins to BUSD from USDC, and we'll get back to that in a minute, USDP, and TUSD. Now, we've heard from the New York Department of Financial Services. According to their information, the administration of Binance's stablecoin by Paxos Trust Company left it vulnerable to bad actors. According to a spokesperson, Paxos failed to properly assess the risk and check on the customers of Binance and BUSD. They said that this resulted in the possibility of the platform being used by bad actors. The spokesperson stated that Paxos did not manage the stablecoin in a secure way. And so that is why the financial regulators in New York told Paxos to stop issuing Binance USD. It was because of the issues with their relationship with Binance. The end result of which is Paxos is now ending its relationship. Now, Paxos Trust Company will stop issuing new Binance stablecoins on February 21st. Paxos will still manage the BUSD dollar reserves and assure that they will always be backed by US dollars. The company will support BUSD until February 2024, and customers can convert their holdings into American dollars or another stablecoin called Pax Dollar. Now, Paxos stated the regulatory action will not affect its financial stability, goals, or its ability to serve customers. They said that the company has a strong regulatory capital and a strong financial status. They said that this action will not stop the company from serving customers, growing its staff, or funding its goals. And as it turns out, it was Circle, USDC, that apparently sounded the alarm, at least in New York. Bloomberg is reporting the rival stablecoin issuer went to the New York Department of Financial Services last fall. It sounds like Circle is the ones that they told the cops that Binance didn't have enough in reserves to cover all of the BUSD that they had issued through Paxos. And just before recording time, Paxos put out a press release. It said that Paxos, quote, categorically disagrees with the SEC staff because BUSD is not a security under federal securities laws. It also claimed that Paxos is, quote, always backed 1-to-1 with US dollar denominated reserves, fully segregated, and held in bankruptcy remote accounts. They said the firm is prepared to vigorously litigate if necessary, and I expect that's where we're headed. But how interesting is it that it was Binance that started auto-converting USDC into BUSD? Think that's how that got started? Was it revenge? Because now USDC may well have a hand in the demise of their rival stablecoin. Coinbase's leadership is taking a stand. They say that their crypto staking services should not be considered as a security. They say they may well take the issue to court in the U.S. Coinbase's CEO, Brian Armstrong, says that they will fight in court if necessary. This comes after another crypto exchange, Kraken, agreed to stop offering staking services to clients in the U.S. The SEC says that Kraken broke the rules by not registering their crypto staking service, which the SEC claims is a security. As a result, Kraken has to stop offering the service and pay a fine of $30 million. Coinbase's top lawyer wrote in a blog post that staking is not considered a security according to U.S. law. Paul Gurul says that calling staking a security does not help consumers and stops people in the U.S. from using basic crypto services. It also pushes them to use platforms that are not regulated. Gurul says that staking does not fit the criteria for a security under the Howey test. This test comes from a very old court case and honestly may not be appropriate for modern assets like cryptocurrency. Gurul says that the purpose of securities law is to fix problems with information. However, staking doesn't have this problem because all of the participants can see all of the same information on the blockchain. Gurul also wrote that blockchain technology can help the U.S. economy grow, and staking is an important and safe part of that technology. He thinks that regulation should not stop innovation, that it should help consumers, and that it's important to make the right decisions about staking. Silvergate Capital Corp is a crypto bank. It is the second most shorted stock in the U.S. 72.5% of its shares have been shorted. This information was accurate as of February 9th. Now, FINRA is an organization that collects information about stocks. They do this a couple of times a month. When someone has a short position on a stock, it means that they think the price is going to go down. If the price goes down, the short seller makes money. Now, Silvergate's stock has gone down 87% in the last year. People are not optimistic about the company because of its recent earnings report and its legal problems with FTX and Alameda Research. Silvergate announced a loss of $1 billion for common shareholders in Q4 2022. They had big withdrawals of deposits during that time, so they needed to borrow money and to sell debt to keep enough cash. This information was supplied by the SEC. Silvergate needed to borrow $3.6 billion from the U.S. Federal Home Loans Bank system because many people withdrew their money after the FTX collapse in November. The borrowing was to help Silvergate deal with this problem. And now, Silvergate is facing investigations and lawsuits in the U.S. They are accused of helping FTX with illegal activities like lending and mixing customers' money. The Justice Department is looking into the bank's relationship with FTX because Silvergate says that Alameda opened an account with them in 2018 before FTX started. They say that they checked everything before opening the account and kept watching it after that. Moody's Investor Service changed its opinion of Silvergate Capital and its bank. They lowered the rating and now consider them to be a junk investment. Their outlook for the future is not positive. European banks will now have to consider crypto assets as high risk, according to a law from the European Parliament. A new law could affect how banks work with digital assets. Banks will have to share information about their involvement with crypto, and the European Commission is working on specific rules for the industry. The European Parliament's Economic and Monetary Affairs Committee believes that as banks become more involved with crypto assets, rules need to be in place to further protect financial stability. This is especially important because of recent problems in the crypto markets. The proposed risk weight for crypto assets of 1,250% is not attractive for banks because they would have to hold a large amount of capital, unlike other assets like mortgages. The draft law from the European Parliament requests that the European Commission create additional laws by June to follow international standards set by the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision. Now, the Basel Committee suggested a limit on banks' holdings of unbacked crypto, but this is not included in the EU's draft law. The EU member countries and the Parliament must agree on the proposals before they become a law. And that's going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank you, my listeners, because when you stop listening, I will stop talking. If you enjoyed tonight's show, then please like, follow, and subscribe. And until then, we'll see you tomorrow night.